Well, 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 welcome to the Architects of Fate streaming extravaganza. That's right, you've found the self-proclaimed original Twitch TTRPG stream that lets you shake up our world. Now pay attention because this is how it works. If you'd like to add some loops to this roller coaster ride of a show, you're gonna need fate chips. Now these magical loyalty points can be earned just by watching, following, hosting, subscribing, or just engaging with us in the chat. It's like free money, people. With your fate chips, you can use your powers as an architect to heal your favorite players, summon items that will make their adventure a lot easier, or a lot harder. You can even make players say or sing outrageously silly things. Think of those possibilities. But wait. There is more. You can also toss our unsuspecting heroes into random encounters that will leave them sweating, strategizing, and questioning their life choices. All it takes is a quick redeem command in the chat. You choose the item or action and the player you want to mess with, and we'll take it from there. So sit back, relax, and prepare yourselves for a mind-blowing spectacle of storytelling and mayhem. We've got adventure, we've got drama, and more surprises than a clown car at a kid's birthday party. So let's go!
Windowless one.
Welcome to the Architects of Fate in our Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed of stream. We are so glad to have you. Welcome back for another exciting episode where we have Season 3, Chapter 15? No, wait, Season 3, Episode 15. I'm really good with words today. Season 3, Episode 15, Runners and Fighters.
We're all doomed.
We are all doomed. That is the truth. We have a fantastic cast with us today. With our
Laws to paragraph 50.
man behind the scenes, moderator, and the guy keeping us running, Nat. As far as your cast of characters go, we have Verai, the mysterious assassin, Abertai, the zealous witch hunter, Zang, the exotic emissary of Katai, and I, of course, am Crom, the deity that cares not for your worries. Unfortunately, tonight we are missing a couple of our party members, but life happens. They might be able to join us later, but we will see. However, we are glad to have you, so please be sure to engage with us in the chat. Buy some funny things. Make my singers sing song tales as Disney princesses, if you will. That's my favorite redeem, by the way. I mean, if you want to heal them if they get injured, that's cool. Or give them free things is great. Summoning tentacles from the sky and bad weather, those are all great. But sing songs as Disney princesses, that's my favorite, chat. So, to set the stage, 2 episodes ago, the party had a very phallic adventure in an abstract art gallery with curses and paintings and sex dungeons. Last episode, the party had dinner with the Dairns, where they were able to gather a little bit more information on the culture, the situation. The Isaac Dairn the Younger, the scion of House Dairn, appeared to be a little bit suspicious, knew more than he was letting on. And the party was able to finally come up with a name and a location of the mercenary band that attacked them in Poorside not that long ago. The name of this mysterious, dangerous mercenary group was Drakenwolf. And so here we find our party waking up in the Dairn guest house, having spent the night here after the nice dinner, had a little smoke out with Tiber, the youngest of the Dairn boys. Well, technically they've been told the third of the Dairn boys, and not explicitly told he's the youngest, but they've kind of found out that he's the youngest of the 3 Dairn boys at this point. And our party is together, except for the people that aren't. And so here we begin. Good morning. Dawn comes. It's messy.
Yeah, but when isn't it?
Looking like Don Knopf. Or
Oh, I would love to go out and do something, but the weather is so bad out there.
It is muggy. It is just, the air is completely still. Any smoke is just sitting there, the mugginess, the humidity. It's 7:30 in the morning here, and it already feels like the back end of Swamp Ass.
Well, speaking of the back end of Swamp Ass, you guys know what we haven't done yet?
Your mother?
I'm an orphan. How dare you, sir? So we've not explored the sewers of this beautiful city either.
Yes. You have fun with that.
Abertac, you want to go with?
explain to me why you want to do this.
There's an entire crazed civilization down there with a madman ruling all. Maybe he has answers because we didn't really get any out of Elderdairn last night.
But you
I'm
did
with
get leans,
Leanings?
leads, like leads, but eads
We got
from
leads.
the younger Isaac.
Oh yeah, I know. I walked all the way up and got turned away at the gate. I'm well aware of the Drakenwulf.
So
So
you basically want to go down there out of morbid curiosity.
so it's either we go down into the sewers, watch our step, and go deal with the crazed sewer people, or we go to the mercenary encampment in broad daylight and try to get answers from the people that did try to kill us recently.
Do you really think there's something down there in the sewers, or is this just sating your curiosity, which is fine, but
Yeah,
Alternatively, we could pay a trip to the church and garner more information from
the High Priest of Mitra.
Holiness.
You know, why don't we split the party?
No, I mean,
Right.
yes.
it might be cooler at least in the sewers.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be cooler. It'll stink a little more.
Yeah, all that heat and humidity just bringing out the sweat from the stones.
Yeah, the stones. So I mean, it is interesting. The High Priest of Mitra, the second busiest person in all the city, next to the king. It would be interesting to get some answers out of him. You're correct. But I would like to do some additional scouting down there and see if I can get some answers.
I'll go with you, but I'm not wearing any nice clothes.
Right now, you're all wearing very nice, very clean. Well, not like fancy nice, but very clean, well tended clothes from the Dairns.
I'm gonna store those.
I'm gonna get back into my armor.
Crappier to wear under my armor.
I'm not wearing any clothes that belong to the Barons. They're all mine.
Do you
Yeah,
really want to go
that is
wear them
true.
in the sewers?
No.
Well,
I'm not going to the sewers. I don't need to be in the sewers. Why do you think I need to be in the sewers?
Where you belong.
You're mistaking me for you again.
It's not a good comeback.
Womp womp.
So
Look, I'm new to your trash language. I'm still learning how to joke, to jest, to
If you understood
Just
Katani,
keep going
you would have understood how good of a comeback that was in Katani. Just culture doesn't translate to you heathens.
Now, as long as there's some like rags for me to wear. Like, I don't even want to look like I might be from the surface. Like, I want rags over my armor.
So we could probably score some slave rags.
Okay.
Yeah, but slave rags aren't going to fit over a full suit of big,
I'm not
fancy, shiny armor.
We'll
Well, I'm
just
not
have to
wearing a
rob
full suit.
extra slaves.
Only Michael has a full suit on.
You're wearing a brigandine vest, which is a pretty stout.
But it's not a full suit like it.
Right, but it is a pretty stout chest piece.
I could be a fat dude in a cloak.
Yeah, if you want to wear a nice big cloak and make it pretend, that would be a thievery check.
I can do that.
If I'm helping him get inconspicuous did it up, can I get an assist roll?
Yeah, you can
I
assist.
actually get to use insight. As long as I'm dealing with humans, I can use my insight so deeply.
Am I assisting in stealth or insight?
As you using insight as far as what goes?
Let's see. It is the see the soul ability. I can use with mortal humans. I can use insight instead of society or thievery.
Yes, for insight type checks, not for costuming yourself.
Then I'll let Vera do it.
So am I just assisting in costuming you up, or
Not
am I?
dressing me.
I'm dressing you. Okay, so that's 2 for me then, right?
That is, yes.
Well, look, wait. No, there's just the one. 1. He got 1.
Well, at least that's one success.
You put rags over me. It's fine.
He throws a cloak over you and pins it back in a place or two. If nobody pays too much attention, it doesn't look like you're wearing well tended to armor.
Nothing at
As
all.
long as they're not paying attention.
Species to make it look good, to make you blend in.
Do I have to roll separately to dress myself, or does that count for me too?
No, because your already attire is that of black robed, unless you're trying to make yourself look differently than you already do, which is like somebody who would fit in a place like that.
Yeah, I'm good. Ninja.
Now, Tiber, on the other hand,
Is not in our guest house at the moment, isn't he?
Wait, don't you judge me.
Tiber does come a knocking, though. Hey guys, good morning.
Nobody's home.
Hey,
Oh,
bud.
that's too bad. I guess I'll just let myself into my own guest house then, since nobody's here that needs privacy.
Hey, champ. How you doing?
Hey, friend. I'm doing
Um,
better today.
Better today, yeah.
Yeah, good night's sleep. A little bit too much wine. It has cleared some of the goop. Nice bath to get the blood and brains bits.
Yeah. How are the nightmares?
Not awesome. Not awesome.
That's why you don't sleep, like us.
Yeah, that explains so much. That explains so much. I wonder how many more cultists like that are out there and how we could find them before they start stabbing people. Maybe the
you
guard
realize
would
it.
be made aware of this.
I feel about this.
I'm sure that the city guard and the detectives, they would want to know about things like this so that they can investigate it and stop it before it happens. They're professionals.
Is that something you would like to go check with the police over?
I feel like I should. We should? No, maybe not you guys, but somebody should.
You are
But
the
then, what if they turn around and they're like, "Oh, you murdered 3 people"?
You didn't murder
Then it tells me
anybody.
it's a low score for the day then.
You
Like, I
didn't
don't-
murder anybody, and we didn't murder anybody either. It was self-defense.
But I don't want to get tapped by these cultists. Like, if they were to find out that I went to the cops and they started coming after me.
Our noble emissary sang, what is your plan for the day?
I was going to ask around town, perhaps set up a meeting with the what is his name? The priest.
The High Priest of
Or-
Mitra.
Yes, that's it. I'm trying to remember his name. It's
Velisi.
Valisi. Yes. We're going to see if I could get a meeting set up with him for my dear friend over here.
I would be careful about going to the authorities around the cults and stuff. You never know who might be a member of them.
Yeah, I didn't know that there were cults such a thing until I met you. At least not like this. I mean, you hear about them, but now with you guys, I've run into two separate cults and tentacle things.
Entirely coincidental. We
Which
are not
nonsense.
affiliated with them.
When you walk around with someone who hunts the arcane, the occult tend to come back after.
Actually, I usually have the opposite problem. They usually just hide.
Hmm.
When you hunt the darkness hunts back.
Yep, our other two members will not be able to make it, and it is quite justified and unexpected.
Oh dear.
Well,
Is
they don't.
everyone all right?
Everyone you guys know.
Let's see.
So, sorry.
All right. So, Tiber, would you like to escort our emissary to meet with the high do-wop guy?
Do-wop, do-wop, do-wop.
Titles and
Bibbidi
names
bop
escape me most of the time.
Come on.
Really no.
So do you want to be tapped to babysit the kid? Or do you want to go with the party?
It's better than wandering around in the sewers, but only just.
Tiber, we can even give you the choice. The other half of our party are going back into the sewers where you narrowly escaped death last time. Would you rather escort our emissary to the Temple of Mitra?
I think you would do better by yourself and your family if you were to come with me and learn the ways of negotiation.
I'm the third son. Negotiation doesn't matter. That
And
is
it's
for the
that
eldest.
kind of attitude that has kept you in this position.
Your father may be proud to hear that his son was meeting with the High Priest of Mitra.
You'd probably have better luck meeting with the High Priest of Mitra without me.
So you want to go face certain death again this soon after yesterday's incident?
You and I made it out last time.
We ran out last time.
Yes, into the tentacles, I might add.
Yeah.
Straight into the tentacle. But look,
See what happens when you go into the
You
sewers?
don't want to take a
Tentacles
day
happen.
off, recover, relax,
but yes, no, but
turn
like
yourself to sanity.
I don't want to live in that same world of nobility and pettiness and my house is bigger than your house. I want to live in the real world where I can make a real difference. And that isn't with the muckamucks. That's with the people in the mucks.
That sounds like it's time for you to bring your house down and leave.
Free the slaves. So I'll tell you what then. I can put some dingy slaves' robes and clothes on you and make you look again like you're supposed to be down there. And you can stick with us. Be sure to bring a knife or a sword. And we can venture into the sewers again if you'd like.
I have something I could wear.
Okay. Remember, it's gotta be convincing.
Well, we saw a bunch of artists down there, and I have a friend who's left some clothes behind, who's an artist, and could wear his clothes. They fit.
If they're clean and well kept, I will push you into the mud and dung on the way there. Fair warning. You have to be
That's fair.
convincing.
That's fair. I did have his clothes cleaned when he left them behind.
Okay. You have a sword?
Oh yeah, I've got yeah, of course.
Can you conceal it? Can you at least hide it in your robes?
I can got a big knife I can put in my robes.
Better than nothing.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Quick while he's gone, let's get out of here.
What?
He comes back a few minutes later wearing, it's not a whole lot more than not a whole lot more than an old toga that has been patched a couple too many times, and some breeches. It has been recently cleaned. Well, it's been cleaned, but you can tell that this is not something that a noble would have worn out and about. So the questions arise of how he had this, and it's not his. And you do see that he slips a curve-bladed knife into a waist strap that's mostly hidden by the robe. It's not necessarily concealed, but again, if nobody's paying too much attention.
Well, it's not like he'd be the only person down there carrying a knife.
No, it's pretty common that people are at least carrying some sort of knife or something. Or at least, let me rephrase it, not common, but it's not uncommon that people are carrying a knife or a short sword. You see a lot of things like rapiers and épées as well around here, among the nobility at least.
Okay.
Catch me off guard every time.
Then
He's still very clean. He is still very healthy and well fed, and obviously, to close examination, would never pass as a beggar or or a starving artist. But at first glance, with the hood up, it's not too bad.
he's gonna get a little bit dirtier before we get down there. Not too terribly much, but somewhat dirtier.
Hopefully there's no skull bits on it this time, he says.
Okay. So then, y'all, we ready to move?
Mr. Emissary, are you still deciding to go off by yourself,
I am
unescorted, unprotected?
There ain't no reason why my character would ever willingly go into the sewers.
Except there are entire mercenary companies hunting you if you go alone somewhere. And you do know this. They explicitly said they were looking for you. So you can go
Yeah,
out
no,
in
I'm not
public.
You just spend the day reading.
Yeah, I think that's more. I'll enjoy a day off with no tentacles
For once.
for
You
once.
say that now.
All right, tentacool, man.
Okay, all right.
We are, chat, splitting the party, leaving the least martial character all by himself and unprotected. Just so you know, chat. Just so you know. Oh, Goliath! Goliath's here. He's the one that likes to throw you guys tentacles. All by himself. Okay, so the 2.5 of you head for the nearest entrance that you know of or can find with your thievery skills. I'll just give it to you that you can probably just go to the entrance that you had found before last time when you were thievery-ing. And again, this time you're getting down there in the pretty early morning. In this beginning of this heat and steam and stench. So last time you were here, it was a bustling beggar's market of sorts. There were people and little cook fires of animals that you don't want to know what they were, and there were artists and beggars. And at this time of the morning, there is much fewer people and even less that are awake. Maybe the same amount that will never wake up again, though. Maybe the same ones that still are probably not going to ever wake up again, though. As you come down, find an entryway behind a tavern, down through a cellar, into a storm grate, or through a storm grate into a storm drain. And then on, you've got graffiti all over the walls where the walls are still relatively solid even. And then you move through what eventually becomes these underground waterways and sewageways. The smell and stench is awful. The air is not moving. You cannot get it out of your nose and your hair and your eyes. It's almost like a cloud of green awfulness down here. But you do make it to what you're pretty sure is the same general area you were at before, that seemed to be where you were kind of pointed to, that if you're going down into the if you're going down to the beggars areas, that's the place to kind of go to. The biggest of the encampment isn't the right word. Beggars halls, maybe. There are a few people up and going. You do see some people that they've got their rags pushed in, rags are cut up and tied into like gloves and things with no fingers, that are munching on rotten leftover scraps of food. And there is one or two that's cooking things. There's a little fire. They've got a little stick that they're holding over some of the fire with quite obviously a freshly skinned, really large rat. It could be a gopher, but it's probably a rat.
And you're here because you think the madman who rules the sewers has information.
Radamont.
Listen, man, I saw a crazy menagerie of maniacal, mischievous mayhem.
I have no doubt that you did.
So actually, before we get too much closer into the groups of people, hey, Tiber, is that feces or mud?
Yes.
Push!
Ah! He gets up and scowls at you. Not cool, man.
I look at him and say, we could have done that back on the surface.
It could have been mud, but you forgot. Sorry.
Man. I'm gonna have these things cleaned again. And I'm gonna have to take like 3 baths to get out of this.
It's not human gore, yet. And we
Goliath. As he is getting up out of the muck and mud and detritus, you feel a pull, some sort of gravity-like pull, both upwards and to the left and to the right, kind of outwards, kind of like you're being stretched just a little bit in a very odd fashion. Makes you a little bit dizzy, kind of disorients you just a little bit. As Tiber starts getting up and starts trying to wipe himself off, and really all he's doing is getting it on his hands and wiping it in worse, maybe getting some of the chunks off, but it's just streaking it around. And added to this smell that you already have is a smell of rotten seafood.
Oh, great.
Rotten seafood, like calamari left out in the Ophiran sun for a week too long. As you feel stretched and pulled just a little bit until with a whomp, like water crashing back into itself that's been splashed away by something large falling into the water, that whoomph, like when you're underwater and you hear that whoomph sound of somebody's jumping in the water. As with a whoomph, all of the
Likes making that sound.
Can you do it again one more time?
whoomph
Mm.
happens again. Now I just lost where I was going with that. Dang it!
There it is.
A whoomph happens, and the snap back to orientation is so fast that it almost disorients you worse, as you were just starting to get used to the disorientation, but your eyes and your attention are pulled to this grate, this sewer grate above you, as the sewer grate itself begins to move, begins to phase. The iron bars that were going across this sewer grate soften and begin to separate from each other into rotten, fleshy messes, as the tail ends of them begin to merge and fuse, and chunks of flesh and calamari and purplish pinkish bits start to fall down out of this grate, landing upon the party. And when it lands on you, it doesn't just hit you and bounce off like a piece of flesh. It like hits you and just glops onto you in various pieces, almost in a almost overwhelming the senses with rotten seafood and sewage mixed together.
Hello.
I need a resistance check from each of you.
Let's see here.
Tiber is able to hold his breakfast down. Okay, so it looks like everybody is able to hold your breakfast down. And Yeah, it is. This what is happening to you? It's got to be something to do with all of the times. There's some sort of warp around you. Actually, Abertech, roll me. It's not a cult. Sorcery. Roll me sorcery, please. Is that two successes?
I think so.
Abertech skills
Yep.
sorcery is 15 and 4. Yep, so that is two successes. You've had so much sorceress activity happen around you, so much of this that it's almost like the anomalies of fate have been coalescing around you. This what you think is happening here is something from the outer dark, not even aimed at you, not even targeted at you, but just something has latched on to you, obviously with your presence around all of this, that is just happening. It's like the outer dark is just is being dragged along with you.
Oh, good. I will tell everyone to buckle up.
It's not a hot Cthulhu, it's a Cthulhu steamer right on your chests.
Charming.
And the three of you continue forward. The smell is
Nothing to see
completely
here.
stuck
Nothing
to
to see
you.
here.
Even the beggars, as you're walking past, are like recoiling, like ah.
That may help my disguise efforts, actually.
Tiber is over there going, "Ooh. I swallowed it." I'd ask for some water, but I don't want anything from down here.
Nope. Keep your head above it. Keep your head above it. Don't let it get on your chin. Then it ends up in your mouth. Don't ask me how. It just does.
And you continue forward. A situation.
Happily.
A situation. Well played, sir. Quite a presentiment.
There's
Okay.
curry and rice in there if you want.
Where's Radamont?
Thievery, society, persuasion, probably thievery would be your best bet.
Thievery, persuasion, society.
We're not trying to steal him.
So thievery also counts for dealing with thieves and the entire just the underworld society. Especially if you have the thing that allows you to use thievery in place of society when dealing with the criminal element, which he does.
Which I do. Got two successes.
Two successes. So as you do a couple of discreet asks around, hey, what is this thing? I saw this. I've heard about this parade. I needed some information. Just discreetly with a couple of folks. You find one guy who appears to be actually a little bit more respectable than the others. He's got a little vendor stand, which is basically a little stone bench that he has claimed as his own. And on this stone bench, there are various trinkets and bits of dried meat and other mostly junk. But he's like, come buy this, only 2 bits. Here's a couple of silver pieces. Or, give me your money, have some stuff. We'll barter for food. And you get a little bit of information from him. You kind of notice him standing out a little bit because his eyes are more aware than most people's else that you've seen down here. He is not... he seems to be more observant, more paying attention to his going aroundings. And so you discreetly ask him a couple of questions in your Zamoran way. And kind of what you do find out from him is, well, one, Radamont holds court, but where that's going to be, when that's going to be, nobody knows. If you're going in front of the court, he finds you. He can hold court about anywhere, but the
As long as it's in the
parade.
sewers.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of the assumption here is anywhere in the underworld. The parades tend to be, and he does call it the underworld. The parades do tend to be over in that section over there, part of which is where you were at before. So you kind of would assume that he's going to have some sort of base of operations over there, that's where he's coming from, considering that's where most of his parades are. But if you want an audience, if you want to request an audience with him, he doesn't think it's a good idea. But if you want to request an audience with him, there is a ritual to perform. And then if he accepts, he'll find you.
Why is Radamont the king of the series? Like, how does he keep himself where he
He's
is?
not the king. He's the anti-king.
Yes, but how does he keep himself in power where he is?
He gives the people what they want.
Fair.
Sometimes. It's kind of a loaded thing, though, when he gives people stuff. He gives people what they think they want.
So I've heard. Now look at their eye.
But he also gives people what they need. Nobody knows who he is. Hell, people don't even really get a good sight of him. He moves on so fast. The only ones who really know who he is are his inner circle of jesters.
There he is. Okay, so what is this? What is this ritual?
Well, I haven't defined that yet because I didn't think that we were going to be going down into the sewers this session.
You've only been hinting at it every other episode, all chapter.
Yes! But I've been focusing my plannings on going after the mercenaries like you guys said you wanted to.
No,
So we thought we were going to have a full crew tonight.
So I have not defined out the ritual. Poor GM am I.
Does it involve sacrificing Tiber? Because that would be a shame. But for the greater good, I think we can get behind it.
We have to sacrifice that which we love.
No. It's nothing like that. It's something to the effect of going to a certain location, putting down a mark, and then standing there and waiting for several hours.
I'm gonna slouch my shoulders a little bit, visibly, and lower my axe and look at Tiber and be like, "Oh, okay."
Gee, thanks. Don't do me any favors.
You wanted to know what it was like to be an adventurer. We're just messing with you. Okay, Abertac, Tiber, do we want to continue waiting here, or?
Well, I don't know. This is your idea. If you think this guy actually is going to have useful information, I'll stay. Like,
I'm at an impasse. I really am. We can stay down here, or I can stay down here, and y'all can go check out the Grand Vizier if you'd like. I really am indifferent to either of these options. I'm just trying to do something to figure out this information, get more information on this guy. Um. All right. Well, since we're not going to be waiting around for several hours for this person, I figure this is the second time we've showed up looking around for him in his domain. He's at least aware that we're around.
Possible.
If he wants to know who we are and what we're doing, he'll either find that out on his own, or he'll come see us. One or the other. So we could probably, I guess, backtrack out if you want, and get cleaned up. And
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm totally circumspect. I'm just a pile of rags, dude.
yeah, dejected a little bit. I'm gonna kind of head back to the back to the surface. We'll see if we can figure out a way to get with Zhang and see if we can get to the emissary, or at least have him get to the emissary and we can escort him up to the gate or something.
As you get back to the surface, the heat has risen, the humidity has risen, and what people are out recoil from you greatly as you're in the Nobles District covered in the most god-awful appearing and smelling shit. People
Is there just
are
a river or something nearby?
not going through the district, no.
Is there a fountain nearby? Preferably the same one where we cleaned up in last time with human gore?
Yeah, sure, that one's nearby. I'll give you that.
Well, here's a city fountain. Let's get cleaned up.
What's going on here?
Oh, thank Lord, Officer, thank Mitra, Officer, you wouldn't believe it. Did you catch that boar? It just attacked us again and shat everywhere. This thing is all on us. Persuasion. I'm going to use a point of fortune.
Do you want to roll as well, or are you just going to take the point of fortune?
No, I'm going to roll 2.
Okay.
Nope, the point of fortune was the one that did it. So, 2
Okay,
successes.
that is 2 successes from your point of fortune. Which is enough.
Are you having
It's enough.
Fire
What? The boar?
Boar! Go away.
We had reports of a boar yesterday, too. Oh, this is terrible. We've got to find this boar, boys.
This thing is a terrorist on 4 hooves.
Yesterday it was in an art gallery. Now it's in the fountains. This is crazy.
I was just enjoying a picnic. Oh.
And you're covered in fish guts somehow from the boar. It must have thrown up on you.
It really likes seafood. Oh, it's in my hair.
Come on, boys. Let's go find this boar as they leave again.
That bought us 30 seconds. Let's get cleaned up and get out of here.
Tiber looks at you and he goes, "Are guards always this dumb?"
I was hoping it was the same guy. He seemed pretty thick.
So it's probably a good thing I didn't go to the guard about the cults then. I should most likely hire mercenaries to take care of it. They'd probably be better effective.
We'll talk about it on the way back to your house. Don't hire the Draken Wolf clan.
Apparently. They try to murder you.
They didn't hit on her.
And so you get some of the goopy bits off, but also, honestly, some of those Cthulhu-y goopy bits are not coming off easily. They just kind of streak like oil in water. It just doesn't kind of work so well.
It sticks to the clothing.
So a couple hours after you left, you make it back to the Darren household. Go straight to the guest house, I'm assuming. Zhang, you've been sitting here. You've had a cup of tea, some coffee, a smoke. Just kind of looking at different things. When they come barging into the guest house that you're in, and you can smell them before you can see them or hear them, it is the worst fish market / porta potty.
You would not believe the boars in the city.
I turn around. I start mixing with my alchemical agents the most powerful incense I can before I light it on fire. Hold this before you talk to me.
I can't. A boar took my arms.
I think that was my.
As even the servant staff comes in, and they're like, oh, you guys are going to have to clean yourself first, and we'll come help after.
We need hot water and lots of buckets, sponges.
Here's a plastic bag. Just
Need
put
acid.
put your clothes in the plastic bag when you're done.
See, this is why I did not come with you.
Yeah, the boars probably would.
This is why you do not go into the sewer.
The boars probably would have eaten you.
Talk about being in a
Goliath, who do you want that for? Goliath. Oh, there it is.
Talk about getting ourselves into a situation. We went in, we got all of this literally dumped onto us, and we didn't even get a meeting with the guy. So dejected, we came back.
This is why you need an emissary with you. If you want a meeting with the nobility, you need an emissary.
Yeah. So we figured we'd check with you, see if you still wanted to do your plan, because we're kind of messed up now. Today is down the pooper, I swear.
The staff hands you this yellow powder and a knife. Says, use that over there in the barn.
A knife? What am I going to use the knife for? Who am I stabbing with this?
Think of it more like a butter knife. To slough it off.
Yeah, a butter knife. Who am I going to kill with
It's
this?
a scraper.
Yes, a scraper. In the barn. In the barn. Go. Don't ruin my guest house. Go.
I will go to the barn and start scraping myself off.
I'll get your back.
If you want to allow the assassin with a blade touching your back.
I'm safest actually with a butter knife there.
But why a spoon? Because it's dull. It would hurt worse.
It's okay. He's a part of my party. I won't intentionally hurt him.
After some time later, you do slough off all of the bits that you can. That yellow powder burns and leaves your skin raw and red. But you do get it basically cleaned off. You still have a smell, but it's a manageable amount now. You might not want to go to a noble's feast, but at least you can be around in public.
I'm gonna go roll myself in garlic for a while.
Well, we could always escort Zhang to the temple and then wait outside. He doesn't smell like sea fecal.
No, I think you might be very welcome in the temple. They will need to purify you. You have plenty of pillows. Give me mine back.
Don't has this one.
Okay. Abertac, would you like to go to the temple?
Here. Where's the food for that? You're using it. You're still missing one. I'm only using two.
Tiber, would you like to go to the temple with us? Since I know he's here with us, getting sloughed off as well.
He says, I think you'd be better off without me on this one. My father's associates tend to share his predisposition about me and would probably be more honest with you without me.
Going to know you're you if you're huddled into our party with your hood on?
Vasily knows me.
All right.
I mean, if you want me to go, I'm happy to go. I'll be happy to go with you, but Vasily knows who I am, and if you meet with him with me, you'll basically be meeting with my father.
All right.
See.
I'm going to leave it to you, kid.
You'll be better off without me on this one, he says. I'm going to go to a friend's house, and I'll see you guys.
Friend?
Perhaps enjoy a few dozen baths.
Yes.
Okay. Jesus. I don't think that's it. So I'm waiting for it. Sorry. Keep going. We're escorting. He's staying here. There we go. Now it's fixed.
Okay.
You were voguing.
Now I was fixing the autofocus. We're good.
So, the three of you are heading to the High Temple of Mitra?
3 hours and 4 or 5 baths later.
Right. Right. So,
well, I think I might take my own bath just to get the smell out of my system.
They've at least become presentable.
We could help them put up posters about that boar.
After the temple. We can get supplies.
You follow the signposts to the high priest, the high temple of Mitra. There are gilded signs pointing the direction. As you get there to this temple, if you could even call it a temple, this high temple of Mitra is a palace. It is even just from outside of it, it has ornate walls around it, fences around it. These fences themselves are 25 feet high, with golden tips at the top of them, burnished steel that looks almost silver, completely polished wrought steel and silver shapes across them. There is a marble statue of Mitra in the front of it, with a sign underneath, that all those supplicants to Mitra must come here to worship and receive the holy blessing. There are beggars, a dozen beggars outside of the front gates of this, as well as a couple of priests of Mitra not letting them in to the temple. Just next door to the temple. This temple is built up against and beside the actual royal palace, which is the top of the hill, and might be the only building in the entire place more opulent than this high temple. But on the other hand, this temple is built of opulence.
It's built on rock and roll.
It is There are
That's the
well
city.
tended to gardens. You see at least a dozen priests, around, all of them wearing very fine garb. And all of them, and most of them overseeing acolytes of some sort. And these acolytes are digging in the gardens and pruning trees and doing other work around and keeping the beggars out of this very large, very opulent temple.
Well, clearly they ought to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps.
Clearly. But obviously, as not beggars, you are welcomed and invited into the temple to, to tithe and receive the blessings of Mitra.
Specifically, Todd.
I mean, that's your job.
So it was your job.
Yeah.
Oh, witch hunter.
I haven't. You're confusing tithes with titties.
Ah, right. I lead the group in, and how in this particular case, how are people tithing? Just buckets, or are they giving it to specific priests?
Well, as you go into through the grand front doors, there's stained glass windows around them. The front doors themselves are, the edges of them are gilded with intricate artwork of Mitra and sunshines and other holy symbols around them. There are acolytes, and there are a pair of acolytes at the front doors that open the doors for you and usher you in. There are more acolytes inside the temple that are waving giant bay leaves to try to keep the air moving in here. A handful of priests in here. Up on the second level, in kind of an enclosed balcony area, there are 4 priests on either side, along with 4 acolytes on either side that are doing the chant of Mitra. Just doing the chant. There's not necessarily a service going on, but there is, the chant of Mitra is happening by 8 folks on either side.
All right, Abertac, you take the 7 on the left. I'll get the 46 on the right.
Yeah, I am known for punching priests. So
Again, I'm not sure I heard where you said the people were specifically tithing, and
There, near the front of the near the entrance, I should say, near the entrance, there is a large multi-tiered table with candles and incense and candles and incense, and a gilded ivory and gold and steel strongbox there, where there is a priest blessing people, giving the sign of Mitra to them as people go in and they put a donation into this table and they light a candle.
And roughly, how much are the normal people tithing? Dog.
You're not really around enough to see it. You see one person put a couple of coins in and they receive the blessing from the priest, and then they go into the sanctuary where they start kneeling in front of a symbol of Mitra.
Hmm.
You're
Well,
not super familiar with the customs of Mitra, so this seems strange to you.
yes. Well, as it gets to our turn, I'm going to leave a rather large donation of 10 gold coins.
Like 10 gold worth of donation?
Yes.
Okay. As you're dropping this bag of coins into the strong box, you see the priest just watch you. Like, he was curious as you're walking in. He's like, blessing people and kind of watching you. And how may Mitra? Oh my gosh! Praise be to Mitra, good sir. Bloop 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 bloop. Coin coin, rattle rattle, jingle jingle. Praise be to Mitra for you and your kind. Mitra be praised. And this holy symbol of Mitra, and he's just, and at the sound of all these coins, a few of the other priests start to come around.
Yes, we are most certainly in need of Mitra's blessings.
My
With all
son,
the evil that we face.
my son, with the tidings that you have provided here, may Mitra provide for you and your family. Obviously, his generosity and protection has sustained you greatly so far, and in the future will his support be that much greater for the care and piety you have shown here today.
Thank you. Would you care to direct us towards the? I'm sorry, I'm new to this area. The blessings chambers or whatnot. But am I saying this right? I'm still fairly new to this tongue.
Our emissary here is very interested in learning the ways of Mitra that he can take them back to Kitai and educate the heathen rabble there.
You want the library of Mitra. Some of our greatest academics, some of the greatest academics in the entire world study at the temple in the library here.
Yes, that sounds like a wonderful place to learn here. If you could direct us there.
More than that, I'll take you there myself. Consider me your personal guide on your journey, your shepherd, if you will, as he leads you through a side door, down a long, slightly ominous hallway, actually. Definitely not as well lit and opulent, but very well maintained, very well tended. To a large room, and this large room is just filled brim to brim with bookshelves and book stands and chairs and reading desks and thousands upon thousands of scrolls and parchments and books, and various acolytes and priests in here reading.
I'll make small talk like, Crossman wants to get a church set up over there. They would obviously send some of their tithes back this way. So, to serve here, once it's all set up, of course.
The priest sounds incredibly interested. He whispers to an acolyte, and the acolyte runs off.
I just smile at my Kitani friend, and then
If there's one language I know, everyone speaks.
it's sluttery.
A few moments later, a very portly priest wearing fabulous robes comes showing up. This man hasn't missed a meal. He hasn't missed his neighbor's meal. He hasn't missed anybody's meal in years. A very portly priest comes in he's got his stolts, his robes, he's got tinted cords and knots on his shoulders and arms. Comes running up to you. Good day, sir. Good day. Pardon the breath. It's a long walk from the antechambers.
Such
Good.
magnificent chambers I imagine this place has. Indeed.
Yes, we are the utmost temple of Mitra in the world, if I do say so myself. Good day,
It
sir.
is not hard to believe.
I hear quite a generous donation has been made in your by your honor, by your honor, and that you were asking questions about expanding the glory and the faith of Mitra to far off Kitai, which by your own eminence must know has been a difficult place for us to bring in the light and the worship of Mitra.
Please take a moment to catch your breath. My name is Sang. I am a prince of one of the provinces of Kitai.
Zhang, Lord Zhang, your eminence, I am, I am but your humble servant, one of the high priests of this abode. My name is is High Priest Varith.
I'm gonna have
High
a heart
Priest
attack.
Varith.
Please, Your Honor, please sit down. Have a seat, and we can discuss the wonders
Yes,
of
yeah.
Mitra.
He waves at a couple of acolytes, snaps at them. Bring us a seating area. Make space. Make us a seating area and
But it was gonna be like,
a small army of acolytes start moving tables and chairs around to make this little seating area here for you and him and a couple of priests and your two friends. Bring wine. Wine. Bring wine for our eminence.
I'm amazed they
friend.
didn't have chairs ready for
and
me.
pastrami.
For Stromey.
Well, they have reception rooms. You wanted to go to the library.
Ah, true.
So they turned the library into a reception room for you.
Wonderful. Brother, I'm going to subtract the 10 gold from my
Thank
thing
you.
in case you
Also,
if
we
you
can
had
only see
if
your
you
ear.
hadn't done that already. Huh?
No, I didn't touch your shoe. We can also only see your ear.
My ear?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do? I'm leaning forward.
It's a cute
to look
ear.
at the thing.
It's
What a
not
lovely
really.
ear it is, too.
Snowy has the prettiest ears here, but she's all slumped down on the couch now. Big dog log. Actually, she kind of looks like a dog pedo at the moment.
Okay. The gold has been adjusted.
There, I just kicked it right back up out of the
So, your eminence, what can this humble temple, it is not humble, what can this humble temple do for you? How can we assist? Would you care to give us more of your grand plans for the faith of Mitra?
Well, as one who has recently experienced many occult dealings in this from the eastern, right? Or the western area of the night. In this
Probably where you are.
fair. In this province, I have found a newfound appreciation for the glory that is Mitra and the blessings that she bestows upon he? Swear me to was she. He. The blessings he bestows upon his worshippers.
Why, yes,
protection,
Mitra
specifically.
is the one true deity, the deity that leads the rest in their holy war against evil and Set. The evil Set, as well as all of the gods of horror and violence.
Remind me, Set is the one in one of the gods of Nemedia?
Stygia.
Ah,
No,
yes.
Mitra and Bori are the primary gods of Nemedia.
Ah,
Although there are cults that have established themselves there that Mitra is constantly trying to root out, and one day the people shall be united in the glory of Mitra.
praise be to Mitra. But praise be blanking here.
Let me write down this guy's name real quick.
What is his name again? The,
The one you're
Eric?
trying to.
we have a lot of
Eric.
Varric. Okay.
So yeah, the two high priests that you know of are Varric and Velisi.
Okay. You got a lot of V names. It's getting
Yeah,
a little difficult to remember.
I think there's only just the two. And I mean, Vera.
Vera. In Vermont.
Yeah, that's enough out of you.
Tal Vithosh.
Vacuum.
Okay, that's enough.
What are we trying with
Medication.
it?
Verisimilitude.
Scrap. What'd you say?
Verisimilitude.
Boy.
I believe you wanted to speak with one of the high priests about some of the finer points of doctrine, right?
Yes. Boy.
So let me just kind of ask you, outside of the immediate one-on-one conversation, what are you trying to achieve here, and how can we get there?
So one of our. Sorry, you were saying something, Vera?
We need information on the Keeper of Souls. You know, I don't know what else we're trying to get from this guy, right?
That's more or less what we want.
Information on the Keeper of Souls.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll me a society and an insight then.
Who?
The leader of the conversation, Zhang.
Zhang, yeah.
Yeah. Give me a sec. Look at my.
And I'm letting you do society rather than persuasion or something. Because you are acting as high society in your role as an emissary.
That's fine.
Ooh.
Insight is.
High society. I mean,
You guys want to get high, society?
whoops, it's /R, not R. Ba-ba-doo-beep, boop-beep-boop, boom, ba-ba-ba-beep-beep-boop, boop, boom. /R, 2 die 20, less than 15. All right, that is a 5 and a
success.
15. One success. One success. Also, roll me an insight, please.
Which is a 10. Ooh, at least it wasn't a 20.
Indeed. Okay. So as you're moving the conversation towards like the various cults, you know, he mentioned cults in the media. You kind of steer the conversation towards more information about cults, and you're interested in how Mitra deals with cults. And you've heard of this cult led by somebody called a Keeper of Souls or something. And his response is something along the lines of, yes, Keeper of Souls, a dark time for the church, but one that's hopefully long past.
Long past? I've heard these rumors rather recently.
Really? Hmm. Well, the Keeper of Souls is a former Mitran priest who was defeated many, many years ago after he abandoned the teachings of Mitra.
Can I do an observation check just to see if he was surprised to actually learn that these are recent rumors?
That was what the insight was for.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. So he was generally surprised?
Far as you can tell.
Okay.
Well, do you have any chronicles as to the reason why he fell from Mitra's grace?
How could anyone fall from such sublime light and such darkness? It must be a terrible story that would surely prevent it from happening again.
He didn't fall from grace. He left grace himself. He was
I actually just
his ambition and his greed led him to abandon the ways of Mitra, to take up the ways of cults and other gods in a play for power.
I'm going to send Verai out to get me some pearls so that I can clutch them.
Here, I'll give you a pearl necklace you can clutch.
I knew that was it's too easy.
I mean, I will be later.
You're easy now.
He says, it's a tragic tale, but what we do know is that he left the teachings of Mitra for the teachings of a lesser foreign god, only to then abandon that god as well for his own power before he was defeated and thrown back into the underworld from whence he came.
And how, pray tell, was he defeated? Aside from
Through
the
faith.
divine intervention of
Through faith
Mitra, of course.
and fire and steel.
I like all of this.
All three of you can get in on the conversation.
I know, I was
mean,
making notes.
He's been in on the conversation from the beginning.
Yeah.
Just make sure.
Yeah, I was just making notes of it. So Zhang is the one mainlining this conversation, right?
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well. Good
I'm
information.
thankful because I'm not doing pretty well. But
What manner of foreign deity could possibly have first stirred his ambitions?
He
Surely not
abandoned.
that.
We don't know who he finally ended up worshiping, if anybody other than himself. But we do know that after Mitra, he spent some years with the god of death herself,
Oh,
Darkido.
right. At least it wasn't set.
And then he abandoned and betrayed those of Darkido as well.
You probably only wanted their secrets.
Which is probably the only thing he was after when he was of Mitra as well. How Mitra and his infinite wisdom allowed this, we can only but assume it was for a test of purity for those of us here.
But
That had
perhaps
to
nature
enter.
is giving him a chance not to make the wrong choices. But alas.
But I'm curious, what you say you've heard rumors recently. These actions happened 60 years ago.
Yeah, it could be anybody else taking up the name just for the scare value of it, for the fearsome reputation behind it. We have no reason to believe that this person was truly back from the outer darkness where he was banished. And certainly not. But I'm sure from time to time people find that they could capitalize on that fearsome reputation. I don't actually, out of character, remember exactly where we heard it the first time.
it was
The mercenaries said the Keeper of Souls wanted you.
Ah,
Yeah. So the Keeper of Souls was the one that hired the mercenaries to capture you or kill you, but preferably capture you.
Which doesn't sound a whole lot like, I don't know. Interesting. We could say like we've heard, this we've heard the name, whether it's the person or not, on the lips of some of the many mercenaries here, which struck us as very odd.
Mercenaries say all sorts of things, such crude, crass, and superstitious people.
Exactly. He has my total agreement. But it's much more likely to be somebody trying to get behind somebody else's reputation.
He gets a second glass of wine.
Another coping of pastrami.
Would you guys like any pretzels? They make the best pretzels here. They're baked and then they're fried. They're crispy, but just a little soft on the inside. Give me some pretzels. Get some for our friends too.
So long as they aren't donuts. Praise be to Mitra.
Hi, Proust. Actually, I have a question for you. Has there been a need for the Temple of Mitra to hire mercenaries to secure Mitra's interests or to defend Mitra's subjects from dark external forces?
Unfortunately, there are many who seek to either ransack or, for their own greed, gain from Mitra. Especially when we are trying to open a new temple and bring faith and hope to a new community. There are definitely those that like to attack and ambush our people on the way, bringing money and food and aid to these communities. So yes, the Temple of Mitra does indeed have to hire mercenaries on such occasions to protect our interests. Unfortunately, other gods have power as well. And some, it's just the hubris and greed of man.
Do you happen to have a preferred group of mercenaries that are tried and true or that you work with exclusively?
In case, of course, our friend needs to hire someone to escort him back at the time.
If possible, we try to handle things ourselves, and if they're really bad, then the Order of Mitra steps in, the Holy Order. But for local issues, there's a couple of mercenary groups that I've had to contract with in the past, and he says a couple of names: Logan's Loyalists, the Bear Tribe, a couple others.
None of them spark any notes to us yet.
None of them called Drake and Wolf.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Was you mentioned that the other gods have power as well. Do the interests of the other gods have any preferred mercenary groups that also attack your interests and your efforts?
So we know who not to hire.
Mercenaries are a dime a dozen, where one band rises, another band disappears, and if they even survive, they just give themselves a new name and continue doing their unholy work.
Okay, just checking. Fix.
And Zabertak is like desperately trying to tie everything back to this the fiction around why we're here.
For Mitra!
And one of the acolytes comes back with these little pretzel things about this big, bready pretzel things with salt on there, crispy on the outside, little soft still on the inside.
That's the way I like my men.
He likes you crispy, huh? We already know you're a big old softy.
Did he call you frothy?
He called me a soft.
No, I did not say frothy. I'll leave that to you to decide. I want no part of that.
was very confused for a moment. But also,
My rabbit. You wouldn't.
you do bite me quite a lot.
You do have the scars to prove that. But getting back towards Mitra and the game. Yes, and if we don't, do we have any other?
I mean, other than maybe like figuring out like where Vasily is, and I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Like,
Honestly,
Where was the cult? Where was the Keeper of Souls overthrown? Where did he run off to? He left the Temple of Mitra to pursue Darketo. He left Darketo to pursue his own devices. He was eventually overthrown. Where was that? Where was this priest? This Keeper of
Shamar.
Souls? Do what?
He had taken power in the city of Shamar to the south.
Shamar.
Mm-hmm.
Shema. La, 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 la. How far is that from here?
A couple of days. Not a
Sounds
super
like-
distance. It's still in the kingdom of Ophir.
Sounds like it might be worth a field trip.
indeed.
You know what? Why don't one of you guys, and I don't really care which one of you, give me a lore check?
Probably not me.
I don't have great lore.
Definitely not.
I don't have good lore. Yeah, no. I have to say it. So.
My lore is pretty low. It's 9.
Yeah, we all have a 9 in it.
We all have the same lore.
So somebody roll me a lore check, because Shamar has been mentioned before.
Okay. I will make that roll.
Fortune. Oh damn.
Yeah, I actually got a single
Nice.
success. I rolled a 1.
When you were at the feast, somebody had mentioned rumors that they had heard about earthquakes in Shamar getting worse. And some person beside them was saying, "Oh, wow, earthquakes happen and I get nightmares. People go mad there. The animals go into a murderous frenzy before an earthquake. It's all rumors and fear-mongering."
I mean, it probably is. You know how much I hate rumors and fear mongering. Speaking of which, let's spread some rumors and fear mongering.
You know, yes, I do have those notes. The family's talking in Tradeport town of Kerala. Earthquakes getting worse. Name of the town of Shamar. Earthquakes getting people nightmares. People going mad, murdering their families. Beasts killing people. Shamar has always been cursed, allegedly.
Well, sounds like we have a place to check out next.
Yep. That sounds lovely.
I believe we have appointments elsewhere in this city, but I'm certain that before His Eminence returns back to Kitai, he'll want to stop back by again and make some more formal inquiries about the whole process of setting up a new temple and everything.
And of course, if you feel the need to reach me for the time being, you can. I am staying with the Darren.
Just send him your business card.
The Dairns.
I'm staying with the Darrens.
Insight check, please.
Okay, let's see. Do I get another? Is it 12?
No, maybe.
Maybe.
Your insight is a 10.
Yeah. No.
Okay, he goes, the Dairns. Oh, those are I've spent some time with them. Friends of Vasily, High Priest Vasily's, I believe.
Yes, he speaks very highly of both Mitra and the work that Vasily does.
Yes.
That's part of what attracted our prince's interest.
Oh, good to hear. I will make certain to note it to the High Priest Vasily of the faith of his companion.
It's much appreciated. And I greatly appreciate your time as well.
Why,
Well,
yes,
I'll-
Your Eminence, the church itself appreciates your interest and your gifts to help the betterment of the people and the faith of Mitra.
Yeah.
And you guys find yourselves leaving the temple.
So as religions go, not a terrible one at this time period here, but
Quite opulent, I can say.
it's not. I'll be serious for a second with you. So, Lutheran Church is not like this everywhere. They are more prone to that kind of behavior, but it's usually not this bad.
Is that the firefly? Oh no,
It's usually not this bad.
I imagine opulence is common in Ophir.
Yeah. Yeah.
I look around a little bit back at him. Yes. So it would seem.
Greatest highs, the shittiest lows.
So you've got two major leads in front of you. The mercenary company, the Drakenwolf, they have at least a building of some sort in the mercenary camp to the west of town.
Well, I have a feeling they'll find us
When the time is right.
Or wrong.
Or we could just go to their complex, but
I would
they're
prefer to
all-
have our entire group.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of waiting on, was having our Thornicius, our archer, and then our warrior princess with us.
Well, if they ever get off the pot.
She was a mercenary queen.
Mercenary queen.
Which you just lowered her status. Jeez.
People's official titles escape me. It happens.
For you, it's just one more notch on your bedpost.
Okay, so why don't we reconvene with Corin
And Bergeron.
and get some additional information from him about these rumors that he might have been hearing about what's going on in Shamar. Get a good night's rest and set off for Shamar.
Yeah,
Does that work?
Yep.
All right. You head to the Bergeron estate, where you are obviously welcomed in, and Corin is there.
Oh,
the first time
His
we've been
valet
to the
is not
state.
there. Corin's father is there. You get a quick meeting with Corin and his father. Laris. Sorry, Win. Win Bergeron is his father. Laris is the grandfather. Perrin is there as well, Corin's older brother and the heir to the family. So you kind of got the whole kit and caboodle there, other than the crazy grandpa.
Crazy Grandpa was fun.
Yeah, he'll probably show up again.
Okay.
He says, "Oh, welcome back." The dad does again. Welcome back. I take it y'all are spending the time with the Darrens then again.
we needed to use their bathroom facilities. You don't want to know why. Are these posters around town about the shitting boar?
Completely unrelated, of course.
Right, the shitting boar.
I thought it was just a bad name for a tavern, but it turns out.
I don't think I need to know the details, but you need us to do anything.
Not about the boar. The city guard are handling them, or it. Sorry, it. Do we happen to know any information on Shamar? Does that city ring a bell to you?
Well, yeah, it's the second largest city in Ophir.
I hear it has a storied past.
It isn't called the Cursed City for nothing.
Fun. I like ghost stories.
As long as it's not the shitting boar store.
Yeah, that's not a ghost though yet.
Well, by all rights, Shamar should be the largest and most prosperous city in the nation, but instead it's kind of a bleak city of of despair. It's sitting on the major trade route between the north and the south. It really is the biggest trade route between Aquilonia, Nemedia, and Koth and Karaja in all directions to the south and southeast. But instead of being vastly prosperous, it tends to be depressing for folks. The weather's perfect. It sits on the plains. There are trees that grow. Some of the most beautiful flower gardens in all of the world are down there. The wildflowers cover hillsides for miles.
So who cursed it?
Yet between the earthquakes and the murders and the suicides there, it's a bleak place.
Like my kind of town.
Plenty of witches' titties for you to cut off, I imagine.
Oh, it says the witches long since been done with that place.
Right.
Have you heard something about something that happened there about 60 years ago? Some renegade priest of Mitra, former priest of Mitra, dealing with the dark gods, was defeated there, we heard.
Well, I mean, that's before my time, but we could ask my father. Hey, go get Pops.
While he's gone, why don't you tell him, Verai, about somebody going to see the Draken Cooper people? Draken. Sending surreptitious messages?
You mean the Drakenwolf?
Yeah, why not?
Drakenwolf?
Yes. Are you familiar with the Drakenwolf mercenaries?
Only distantly. I've heard the name once or twice.
Okay.
Are they the ones that attacked you?
Looks like it. Yeah.
All right. We'll try to get some information on them. What do you know?
They have a compound at the north end of the mercenary camp. They have a gigantic man, and then another man that wears a direwolf head as a helmet, followed by two bulky round shieldsmen. And other than that, we just know that they're particularly interested in capturing us, and also showed a little bit of interest in capturing Corbin as well. So,
and the messages were being sent to them, right?
yes, we also did notice a message being passed to them from the elder Darren's son.
That would be Isaac the Younger?
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with that, but note straight from him, curried right to the Drakenwolf compound.
All right, well, we'll have to get some information on the Drakenwolves and start putting in some preparations against them. If they're moving against the family, we need to be ready for them.
Yes, but exercise discretion. We are still at least tied to the Darrens in a social settings at least. So
we can do that. About this time, the crazy old man comes in, and Corin's like, "Hey, Gramps! Oh, Corin, my boy, had any more adventures yet?" Oh, it's your friends. You're back. I was afraid the Darrens had eaten you.
I hope he has a corncob pie. He really needs one.
Wynn, sir, we have a question for you.
Oh, why? Please tell me it's to tell a story. I do so love telling stories.
It is indeed to tell a story.
Oh, happy days! You see, Laris, some people still like listening to my stories. Such pleasant young men and women. A pleasure to be around. They have respect for their elders. Why, that reminds me of the time when you were just a little boy and you got caught sneaking out, and then we had to drag you back from... Dad, that's not why they're here. Oh, that's right. What were you going to ask about again? Oh, stories. That's right. What stories would you like to hear?
I'm pretty interested in this guy sneaking out to the.
Advertising, do y'all want to?
Yeah,
Larry
so
Rouse doesn't matter.
60 years ago or so, some guy called the Keeper of Souls, a renegade priest, horror priest of Mitra, dabbling with dark gods. Apparently, the Mitrans managed to defeat him with flame and steel in that city.
The Keeper of Souls. The Keeper of Souls. I do remember something about this.
In
Oh,
Shamar?
I think so. See, at the time, me and my brother were already up in the kingdoms. We had been adventuring. You see, we were mercenaries for a while, and well, the mercenarying wasn't very good around here because everybody knew who we were, so we had to leave. And I think around then we were mercenaries over in Turan. Yeah, we were in Turan at the time, mercenarying up over there. And oh, I remember there were these Ashan mercenaries that we were really rivaling with and just having fights all over the place. They'd hunt us and we'd hunt them and never could fight them. Wonder what happened to them. I know one day we went after their cavalry units. Yeah, there was a lake, and they were trying to get some reinforcements across the lake over in Turan. And oh wait,
Is
Dad,
that what they told you about Shamar?
he's asking about the Keeper of Souls and Shamar. Sorry. Yeah, I was thinking because about that time we were, yeah. Well, anyways, so, yeah, if I remember right, we weren't part of that campaign, but a lot of money was made back then. A lot of lives were lost. Let me think about that. So yes, the city of Shamar was covered in clouds, they say. There was nothing but a fog of darkness, and and people were murdering each other in the streets. It was a terrible time. And
That was unusual.
oh, that's funny. Not wrong though. Anyways, the king himself started raising forces to save the town after the Baron of Shamar was murdered by a mob. They came in and they burnt down his house and everything. And so the king of Shamar started hiring mercenaries left and right and right and left. And I seem to remember, yeah, okay, that kind of does ring a bell. There was the Keeper of Souls. Yeah, that does ring a bell. Yep, that's who it was that was uh, rousing the people. Um, oh, I don't know the details, but the stories do say that he was sacrificing people on a mountaintop, and there were some brave heroes that stopped him. There was somebody who could talk with the animals that was able to stop him and his forces from raising some sort of dead god.
Dead god, not the god of the dead, but a dead god.
No, dead god.
Huh.
Any idea which one?
I don't know of any.
Oh,
dead
they all
gods.
sound the same to me.
It raises a lot of theological questions.
Did a god die?
All right, I'm gonna have to call a theological summit.
Fascinating. I had no idea your gods were so weak that they could die.
Sometimes those things that are called gods might just simply be godlike in power compared to us.
Ah, fair. We have slain a fair few ourselves.
Except for that toad thing. I have to go back for revenge against that thing.
Oh,
Yeah, the dinosaur toad thing that we had to run away from.
oh right.
I owe that thing a whooping.
When you mentioned that one of the heroes that slayed the Keeper of Souls could speak to animals?
Yeah, he was a master of beasts.
A master of beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know who that is?
You can give
I
me
mean,
a
it's the
lore check.
Beastmaster.
Beastmaster. Boom, two things. A what check?
Lore.
Yeah.
This one's going to be very difficult, but yeah.
My
Something
last
you
point of
need to be
fortune for
born
the
in the 80s to remember.
My last point of fortune for the evening.
Go for it. Are you going to roll as well?
I did.
All right, so 3 successes. Or
two
two
successes because I don't
successes.
have a point.
I mean, okay, with 2 successes. I mean, everybody's heard stories about people that can talk to animals. You know, fables and fairy tales and the like. And they're common enough in enough different cultures that there's got to be some grain of truth to them. But as far as a story about some sort of master of beast that operated in Ophir, you've got fairy tales and fables.
Okay, just trying to glean as much information as we can.
He goes, I do remember that there was one thing, though. There was something. There was some obsidian towers. I remember. That's where the Master of Beasts was murdered a few years later. There were some obsidian towers off to the south. I wonder whatever came of that.
Is that near Shamar?
Mm.
Well, are there any obsidian towers visible from Shamar? I mean, I assume people would know.
There's the ancient Acheronian ruins that dot the place.
I ward myself with a sign against the evil eye at the mention of Asheron.
I'd allow you to give me a sorcery check.
Oh, on the towers or on Asheron?
Yes.
All right, because he's made the one about Asheron before, and that's why he would ward himself, like with the whole, like, like that, that, so that
Yeah.
you don't get the evil eye. Let me- No, come on. That's 2.
2 successes? I didn't roll.
Well, actually, it still says rolling the dice. Hang on.
Doesn't even show that you started. There it goes.
Okay, no successes actually. That's close to a complication.
Doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell.
So, other than warding himself with the sign of Asheron, you can blame anything on Asheron. I'd probably believe it.
It'd probably be true.
Well, it sounds like we may be taking a trip down there, and if I were to sacrifice, say, one of my party members, that's I need to find the obsidian tower to do that, right?
Oh, sacrifices are usually done by bad people. We try not to sacrifice in the good side of the world.
What if it were a Dairn?
Well, there's 1 or 2 Darrens I've tussled with and wouldn't mind not having to deal with again, but I think I've outlived most of them.
It is the best revenge.
Even though
Well, thank you for
I
your
have lost
time.
my brother and his entire family, my nephews and my nieces. But I still have Edgard. I haven't seen him in 15 years. But I know he's out there somewhere. And you
We'll
guys
make
are
sure he
bringing him.
visits. We'll make sure he visits. Okay. I think we're good. Are we?
Any other questions here? I will take that as a no.
Questions.
All right. Then we are going to go ahead and call it here. We are at our time limit. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for viewing us, for being here, enjoying another session as I pull up my announcements. Pulling up a. Okay, so we have on Monday the 28th, that was yesterday, and the 29th, that's today. Tomorrow, on August the 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern, having just proved triumphant in the race of merit, our heroes awaken after having a shared vision of the Apotheon to familiar faces. Whether they're friendly or not remains to be seen. Find out in the next episode of Call of the Netherdeep, Episode 4, The Road to Bezoxen. By the way, I'm a player in that, and our favorite person, Goliath, the Warlock, is actually going to have magic, which is so much fun because I can't wait to see him casting magics and spells and being a badass, getting his revenge against the Draconics. Thursday, stay tuned for more details. We don't have that. It's a secret. Friday is taking a bye day on Friday. And Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, if you're around, join us for a community games night. So join the cast, play some fun games. It's going to be a good time. And again, next Tuesday, Conan, same bad time, same bad channel, 7 p.m. Eastern. We can't wait to see you there. And we love you. Good night.
No words in our mouths.
Good night.